Hello YouTube, I've been away for a couple of months. I've actually been working on a feature film. That project is now finished. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out. But I'm back with you guys having the time free again to teach a little bit. So today, a lesson that I hope you will enjoy, something that is a combination of two of my greatest passions, Spanish guitar and blues guitar. So we're going to play a kind of Spanishy blues basically. This, like many other pieces of music, can go off in so many different directions. I couldn't possibly show you all the variations or anything like that, so I'm just going to show you a handful of ideas, and I hope it's enough to get you picking up your guitar and playing, and the rest will sort itself out over time and over practice. So I'm going to play for a little bit, and then we'll slow it down, and I'll show you some of the things that I played and how you can play those or similar things. Cool. So it's basically a 12-bar blues in A minor. The chords that are used for A minor for 4, D minor for 2, A minor for 2. Once again, this is a standard 12-bar blues. And then I did E major for 1, G minor, A minor, and we finished on E major. I'll write that in the description as well, even though it is just a 12-bar blues, but I know some of you guys like to have it written down. That probably brings us to our first point of interest here, is that usually in a blues, of course, a lot of blues, probably more than 90%, will be like all major chords or all minor chords, or maybe all 7th chords, for example, or something like that. In this case, our A minors and D minors are minor, and the E is that big major chord. That's very kind of textbook Spanishy sound, something that we've played with a lot here already on this channel. But there it is again. Why do we do it so often? Because it works. It sounds great, and it gives that really nice Spanish flavor. Another thing worthy of note in that little piece of music, that strumming rhythm's kind of cool. So we're using a palm mute. So there's 5 hits. It goes dun da da dun da. That's 5. Dun da da dun da. The first one, it's a palm mute, at the same time as a string rake. So I'm not just strumming the strings down, I'm not just going, yep, we're playing the strings, I'm going one at a time. Imagine like falling down the stairs and hitting every stair on the way down, hitting every string on the way down. So it's very subtle, the difference between a strum and a rake. It's very, very subtle, but it's a rake. And raking's cool. You might get nothing out of this video except that you start doing some string raking. Hitting every string, hitting every step. It's very cool. Works really well. So after the palm muted strike, we have an unpalm muted rake. And then up. The upstroke's not really anything interesting, it's just an upstroke. And then we palm mute again. This is the 4th hit. And then a downstroke to finish. So it's palm, rake, up, palm, down, palm, rake, up, palm, down. Please forgive me if I'm making that more complicated than it needs to be. I try to teach the stuff the best I can, but it's always hard to find a way to communicate sometimes, especially when I'm trying to make the videos not too long, and especially when everyone watching is of different playing standards. So, doing my best. Hope you can understand. Then we changed so I did what I was doing. Let's say there were 4 A minor chords, which there are at the start of this 12-bar blues. I would play the chord. That's our first bar. Then I would play a quick little lick in the Spanish style. That's a very kind of basic thing you guys have seen me play a lot of times before. But once again, why do I play it so often? Because it's lovely and it works and it's simple. 0, 5, 7, 0, 5, 7, 8, 7, 5. Just a chatty. It's like, you know, in languages, if you're learning a language, the top 100 words in a language are used like 80% of the time or something like that. It's a bit like that with guitar as well. You've got your kind of basic, simple go-to licks and riffs and things. We play them regularly not because we're boring or repetitive, but because they're nice to play. I think what I did, I'm not saying you should do what I did, just so you know what I did. I think I then went up to the 12th fret. Something like that. So went up, bless you, camera woman. Went up to the 12th fret and did a little lick. But basically, you can do any lick. We're in this A minor shape. You can do anything that you know how to do in A minor, you can and should do in your improvisation. Don't copy me. Just use my suggestion as a springboard for your own ideas. Or you could go real bluesy, like. That's more like minor pentatonic stuff. Also sounds great. I've got other lessons on minor pentatonic, so I won't get too deep into that now. Now, obviously this strumming rhythm has a certain groove to it. There's a certain character to this kind of idea that we're playing today. So I encourage you to incorporate that character. So if you just hear blues, you don't go, oh, it's a blues, I'm just gonna just kind of noodle brainlessly over every blues that I ever hear. That's not how it works. So this one's got a bit of that tango-y sort of thing, a bit of that Spanishy sort of thing. So I might play a bit more staccato to match the rhythm, for example. That's a rake. So when it's the D chord, I start my lick by raking a D minor chord. That's 0, 10, 10, 10. That's a D minor. So we're reaching into our lick vocabulary and our Spanish guitar and blues vocabulary to play appropriate melodies and licks here. And we're also going to try and create new ones that are appropriate for the tone of this piece, basically. That's something that I did a bit, I did it on the A, I think. So I was doing pull off, whichever notes, you can use whatever notes. In the A, I was doing down the A scale, A minor scale, but on the E chord, I might go. So first fret, pull off to 0. And then after you've done 1, 0, pull off, a palm muted open string. Palm muted open string. That's something I like to do a lot. I might even make another video on that because I've never explained that directly to you guys before, but I do it a lot. So that's the turnaround. Every blues at the end of a blues, you play the 5 chord, the 4 chord, the 1 chord, the 5 chord to turn it back around. In this case, E major, D minor, A minor. That's something interesting, I guess, slightly interesting as well, that you might not have done before, which is just that when we get to that final chord of the blues, knowing we're going to go back to the start, it's almost a bit metal. I'm palm muting and I'm just playing the bottom strings, building up the tension. Building up the tension, and the ear, the listener's going, well, this is interesting. And we're back to the start. As I said, there's more options here than I could possibly explain in a YouTube video, but I sincerely hope I've given some of you, and I mean you watching, enough inspiration and enough of a concept to turn off YouTube, pick up your guitar and play some really great Spanish style blues. Thank you for watching.